Hey unicorns, welcome and welcome back to the channel. My name is Chrissie. Welcome back to the Purple Library, and it's fun! I hope everyone is enjoying the first days of fall. The weather is not really an indicator of that though. The weather is definitely giving end of days. Jesus is coming back, y'all. Get your house in order. I'm just saying, I'm working on my soul salvation with fear and trembling, okay? Definitely praying over everyone in different areas, wherever you are, that the Lord bless and keep you during all of these different weather changes that are happening. In this video, it's gonna be a mashup of different things, and y'all know I normally don't do I've kind of not really, recent reads and TBRs are very fluid, But I felt with all of the upcoming content that it's coming, I wanted to give you some updates of where I've been in my reading. And there's some books that I haven't mentioned, but I do want to briefly mention them here and give you some channel updates and some book blessings that have been so graciously gifted to me over the past few weeks or so. So let's get into it. First, for the book blessings, Honest Faith by Charles H. Spurgeon. Oh my goodness, my girl Tiffany over at Beautiful Minutious graciously sent this over to me for our Spurgeon read-along that is happening. By the time you see this, it's definitely going to be happening in a few days. So our first live will be, what's the date, child? The dates, and Chrissy, put what the date is, because my days it's not October yet at the time of this filming. But yeah, our first live stream will be the first Saturday in October. I am super excited to read Spurgeon with Tiffany and Deea. This is our second Spurgeon read along. The first one was just absolutely life-changing for us. And so Tiffany girl, thank you so much for thinking of me. I'll link my announcement video and Tiffany's announcement video in the description below. So feel free to join us or even watch it on playback as well. So this is going to be such an exciting and edifying time for us in October, so we hope you can join. But girl, thanks. I appreciate this. It's going to be so good. Prophetic Reset by Joshua Giles, 40 Days to Aligning with God's Plan for Your Life. This was so graciously gifted to me from my Auntie Idelia, and she is one of the most amazing and impactful mentors and motherly figures in my life. And I just thank the Lord for you, Auntie. Thank you for your love and your laughter and your wisdom and your nurturing care. And so thank you so much for thinking of me, gifting this to me. I wanted this so bad. Emotional. And as y'all know, I'm definitely into prophetic end times teaching and end times biblical prophecy. So this is definitely right up my alley. And I just thank the Lord for his graciousness. And thank you, Auntie, for thinking of me. You're the best. I love you. The Anne of Green Gables devotional, chapter by chapter companion for kindred spirits. My girl Miriam graciously sent this to me as a belated birthday gift. Girl, thank you so much for thinking of me. Girl, you ain't have to do it, but I'm glad you did, honey. Yes. Anne of Green Gables was literally one of my favorite books from 2023. I absolutely love Anne. I'm looking forward to continuing her journey as well. And so again, this devotional study, I'm super excited to really check this out and to read it. And I'm just, it's literally so beautiful. I appreciate this gift. Thank you so much for thinking of me, Miriam. One of my favorite authors is Tosca Lee. She has written some of my favorite books of all time. Pied de resistance of them all has to be Hava. This is a re-release of the original work, a new edition of Hava. And I just absolutely love this book. Now, I saw a new edition of this book coming out and that she was actually signing autograph copies. So of course, I got an autograph copy. Thank you, Lord. Thank you, Lord. Can read the other edition, which I literally kept in plastic. Hold on, let me go get that edition so y'all can see what the other edition was. And I did not open it. Okay, I read it on ebook. Original copy of Hava, and as you can see, it's still in the plastic because your girl was not about to. So I read this on ebook. Anytime I would read it, It's the ebook, huh? And I didn't have a copy. So I finally was able to get a copy a few years ago, but it was one of the last copies in print because they were preparing to do the new edition. And so now I can actually read this physically and take this out of the binding. And I have this beautiful edition that I'm just gonna keep for all my days. But the pièce de résistance was this, that Tosca Lee, we ended up having some chats, and oh my goodness, she was so gracious enough to to gift me the new edition of Demon. I was super stoked, okay? And my therapist told me about this book years ago. My therapist was actually the one that told me about Tosca Lee because I recently started getting back into reading, but I was looking for Christian fiction books and I didn't want to read hardly any secular books at that time. I couldn't really handle a lot of that at that time, being newer in the faith. But things, actually I think I've come back to that. The Lord's definitely convicted me on some things since then now. I have not read Demon, but I've heard fantastic things about it, and I've been a little bit nervous about it because of the word demon. I ain't gonna hold you. She has proven to me in her writing and in how she navigates her faith in her life that I can trust her with this. And so I'm super excited to have this and the signed edition, and it literally made my summer. So link her website down below so you can get your own copy and autographed copies as well. It's the best. Highly recommend Tosca Lee's books, okay? I haven't read all of her canon yet, but I'm looking forward to reading more of her books in the future. Recent read. So I'm in my science fiction fantasy bag, y'all. Specifically Christian science fiction and fantasy. Roll that into fall fantasy, huh? It's gonna be the fall cozy because fall is perfect for fantasy for me, and especially science fiction as well. So we're just gonna keep that sentiment rolling, okay? On deck, Heart of Red, The Nightmare Virus, and The Winter's Maiden. So I've read all three of these, and I've read Blood of Blue. I recently did a dedicated vlog to this book, reading this book and a few other books, and I had a great time. So I gave this 5 stars. Fantastic. So go check the vlog out to see my detailed reading reactions because it's all the things, okay? Nightmare Virus. By the time you see this, this vlog just came out too, so go ahead and check that out too if you want to see all of my detailed thoughts about the Nightmare Virus. But I actually had a wonderful time with this one. 5 stars for real. This is definitely nerdy sci-fi goodness. It's for the nerdy nerds, not for everybody, but man, I had a great time with this. Fantastic. And the pièce de résistance, The Winter's Maiden. I'm gonna go ahead and say my favorite Christian fantasy book that I've read so far this year, hands down. Winter's Maiden did it. 5 stars. Vlog is on deck. And also, there's gonna be some more on deck, so stay tuned to the channel because there's more Christian fantasy coming to the channel. Other books that I have read. So first up, I read Unknown Threat, and this actually drew my first romantic suspense. Oh my goodness, can you believe it? I buddy read this with my girl Teresa. Hey girl, hey. She's read a little bit more romantic suspense more than me, and so she was definitely been my guide and my navigator. I'm gonna hold you, when I was watching Jane's readathon this past summer, check out Jane's channel. She definitely has a lot of great romantic suspense, Christian romantic suspense recommendations, and her Joy for Them is just top tier. And Amanda too. Amanda and all have really great romantic suspense recommendations, so go check their channels out if you're really into the genre. So I kind of been seeing what the three of them kind of been talking about. They had a readathon earlier this summer hosted by Jane, and so I was really super excited to see what books stood out to me. The Christian romantic suspense is not really my thing. I'm more of a thriller girly, but I did want to see where all it lands for me. So Unknown Threat was a book that I decided to try out, and it was good. I gave it 3 stars. I definitely feel more of the romance in it, and I'm not a romance girly per se. I really enjoy romance in books, but it definitely, I prefer it more of as subplot or tertiary plot in a story versus the forefront of the story. But I did like the characters. I like that it was told in multiple points of view. It was so romantic that the plot kind of took a back seat, where I would have liked the plot to kind of take more of a forefront of the story. It follows Faith, who is an FBI agent sent to investigate some murders that happened in the Secret Service, and one of her old partners that she kind of had to partner with in the Secret Service. So of course there's some romantic tension between Faith and Luke. Really liked it. I thought it was a good time. I think I do want to continue in the series because there were a couple of characters that I really enjoyed. I thought the side characters were fascinating to me, and I want to see where they're going to go. So I think I might continue this series just to see like where I am in totality, right? But it was a good time. Geekerella, I so graciously gifted this to me a while ago. I'm so glad I was able to actually read it now, and I had a good time with it. It was 3 stars. I really liked the geeky, nerdy aspect of it. It follows, you know, Geekerella or Daniela, who follows the Cinderella trope. Like a spin on that food truck, which is a pumpkin, and there is a young man who is an up-and-coming actor, and he's starring in the new version of the, what is this movie called? Starfield, which is kind of a spoof on Star Wars. So it's kind of like that. So definitely up my alley with those kind of geeky, nerdy things. I would say the content definitely is a little questionable. One of her friends is a lesbian in the book. There was no actual content at all in this book, so I did appreciate that. So I definitely want to let you guys know about those kind of character dynamics that are happening within the story. Her stepmother was absolutely horrible. I would have liked to see the fallout of that to be a little more fleshed out, but that's okay. I had a fairly good time. I check out those content warnings, language, and kind of an implied sapphic relationship that may or may not happen, which I think is alluded to in the second book, because I did check out the second book. I was like, oh, okay, so that's that. But I read it, definitely for the geeks. And Harbinger by Jonathan Kahn. Wow, this is a reread. My 3rd time reading this book, one of my favorites of all time. This is definitely a hard-hitting book. It deals with the possible that there exists an ancient mystery that holds the secret of America's future. That this mystery is behind everything from 9/11 to the collapse of the global economy. That God is now sending a prophetic message on which America's future hangs. A very pivotal book for me. It has a huge personal significance for me, and I thoroughly enjoyed rereading it again. I actually read it with a book club that my aunt did, and so this was just such a powerful and impactful read, and it was so great to read it with others, and definitely hard-hitting. Definitely a lot of things that happen in this book. This was written in 2011. So that's the kind of the framework of the story. So reading it now in 2024, it's very, very much prophetic. And so I one of my favorites of all time. Can't get enough of it. Daughter of the Pirate King. The book was so graciously gifted to me. From Bethany. Hey girl, hey. Actually thought this was good. I gave this 3 stars. I won't be continuing this one. I think it actually was like, did I give this 2 stars? Did I give this 2 stars or 3 stars? Child, I think I gave this 2 stars. Girl, let me look at my notes. I think I gave this 2 stars, y'all. I think I did. Child, I think I gave this 2 stars. Child, I gave this book 2 stars. Look at me. I guess I've been giving 3 stars out. Yeah, so with this one, I did like the pirate seafaring tale. I really enjoy seafaring tales now. I think that's maybe a nuance to my reading that I discovered this year. I recently read Oathbound this summer as well, and I really enjoyed that better than this one. That one was more Christian publishing house versus one that is mainstream. So I don't know if that's why, or maybe the writing was just better in Oathbound. I'm gonna say the writing was better in Oathbound. I think the story was a lot better in Oathbound than in here. But with this one, it follows a girl who, you know, pirate. There's a hidden map. She's on a journey. She meets a boy who's also a pirate. She's definitely assured of herself. She can do no wrong. First start of the book was very interesting, but then somewhere along the way, it got very boring. and I didn't really understand the point of it. The magic was very predictable. There wasn't anything refreshing about this, and the cover definitely misled me a little bit, although the main character was quite spunky and she definitely had a lot of awareness about what her plans were, what she wanted to do, but it definitely leaned more into the YA angst in a way that it wasn't as balanced to me, like on page. And I really enjoy YA trash. Like, I have a YA trash heart, right? For me, I think it just read a bit shallow. Check it out and see if it's one you want to read. I will say that there is pirate, the pirate lifestyle. So there is blood and fights and things like that, and death, quite merciless death, which it teetered on being YA and then wanting to be adult, but there was not enough of either one to really ground you into the tone of girl. Thank you for giving it to me. I appreciate it. Alas, I finished a series. I finished a selection series. This is book 5 in the selection series, The Crown, and I had a good time with it. I think I gave this 3 stars, but editor Chrissie will tell me exactly what my rating was, because I actually had a good time with this one. I really liked how it was wrapped up. Very solid. What's her name? Edelyn okay at the end. I did not like the air that much. It was definitely lacking in that. It just was too jarring for me coming from, and this ended up being quite sweet, and she did pick the boy that I wanted her to pick. So finally they're picking the boys that I want them to pick. And so yeah, I really enjoyed this as well, and I'm so glad I was able to finish the series, and it actually holds up. I think the series overall is so much fun to read, especially the first 3 books. If you don't read anything else in the selection series, you've got to read the first 3 books. They were just so awesome and just YA perfection at its finest, and they still hold up. And so you can kind of go without 4 and 5. If I'm being honest, you don't really have to read 4 and 5. You can kind of just stop at 3, in my opinion. But again, the whole series is a whole series, so I definitely wanted to commit to the whole series, so I'm glad I did. It was a great journey. And last but not least, I read The Babysitters Club. Yes, y'all, I read books 9 through 16, I think. Oh no, yeah, 15. Most caught up with the series. I know book 16 is on hold at the library right now for me, and book 17 is coming out next spring. So I'm super excited to get caught up in this series. Enjoyed The Babysitters Club. There are a few that I didn't particularly care for. I don't recall the names, but I will definitely link my Goodreads down below, so you can check out all of the details about each of these Babysitters Clubs books and my ratings for them. But I really had a lot of fun with these, and it's just so much fun to revisit them. Stay tuned to the channel for all the mini updates and shenanigans and Chrissie and the Wild Vlogs. Lord has brought us from a mighty long way. Listen, we not where we want to be, but honey child, we sure ain't what we used to be. And for that I say thank you, Jesus. The Lord's grace is sufficient, and he's causing us to move forward in him. May the Lord bless and keep you. May his face shine upon you. May he give you hope and peace for the days and the times ahead. Thank you so much for watching. Thank you so much for being here. I'll see y'all in the next one. Bye.